All right. So yeah, good evening everyone. So for today, ang discussion natin is sa NTREP, no? As you can see from the slide. Hindi ko pala ano, yan, no? So as you can see from our slide, no? This is our uh fifth panglimang lecture sa NTREP, which is all about the business models, no? So um dahil medyo nakakarami na rin naman tayo sa ano, no, sa PR, public relations. Although kaya nag-PR tayo nung Saturday kasi nga I realize na may mga ilang Mondays pala tayong hindi nakapag-meet, no, kasi natapat siya nung holiday and natapat din siya ng busy moments natin, no, for the iTech preparation. So, um, and sa PR, isa na lang yung natitirang discussion natin, no? So kaya na natin matapos yun by first week of January para by second week of January makapag-finals exam tayo. Okay? So sa NTREP, although medyo may marami-rami pa tayong discussions, pero yun nga, may maghahabol din tayong discussions. Okay? So yeah, our discussion for today, no, is for our NTREP module 5, which is the business models, no, which is from our previous discussions, no, napag-usapan na natin and hopefully naging malinaw na para sa lahat, no, what is the general concept of the NTREP behavior, no? And previously, we have also completed our discussion about opportunity recognition and business idea development, no? Na kung saan in that discussion, it is about opportunity identification, no? And opportunity evaluation, no? Na kung saan those discussions, no, hopefully, can help you, no? Can help you identify and can help you to evaluate if your business ideas are something that is scalable, no, or something that has a market demand, no, na kung saan kaya natin kailangang i-identify and kailangan nating i-evaluate, no, if our business ideas has an opportunity to be converted as a business, no, because it will help us to determine if the business ideas you generated or if yung mga business ideas na naisip nyong gawin are truly innovative, no? And whether they have the potential to be profitable in the market, no? Kasi as entrepreneurs, ayaw natin, no, na mag-offer nga tayo ng something na may innovation, pero hindi naman pala siya magiging in demand, no? Hindi naman pala siya magiging mainstream. And if that happens, sayang yung effort natin, no, na hindi naman pala siya um, magge-generate ng profit. Okay? Ah, yan, no? Kaya kailangan nating i-make sure, no, na yung mga business ideas na naisip ninyo or yung mga business ideas na plano nyong i-develop are not only innovative but also practical, no, but also viable and profitable, no? Kasi kahit gaano kaganda yung mga business ideas na naisip ninyo, kahit gaano kagaling yung innovation na naisip nyong gawin with what you wanted to offer, no matter how brilliant your idea seems, kailangan nating i-evaluate and kailangan nating i-validate if your business ideas are something that can truly create value, no? Hindi lang sa inyo as entrepreneurs, hindi lang sa business, but for your future customers as well, no? So, after nating ma-evaluate if our business ideas are something that has the potential, no? What do you think is what do you think is the next process that technopreneurs should do, no? Ulitin ko yung tanong ko kasi 'di ba last time I already discussed with you, no? Papaano tayo nagka-come up ng business ideas, business concept, business development, and from that development of our business concept, kailangan natin siyang i-evaluate. Okay? My question is, after nating ma-evaluate yung business concepts natin and nasabi natin that concepts are something that is viable, that is profitable, that is scalable, ano kaya yung next step or next process na ginagawa ng entrepreneurs in order for them to proceed with uh, their business concept? Anyone who's an idea? Wala pa, no? Normally, ang naririnig kong sagot is magki-create ng business plan. Okay? Normally, ganun yung sagot, no? But there is something na karamihan ng mga entrepreneurs na namimiss nilang gawin bago gumawa ng business plan is itong tinatawag natin na business models. Okay? And siguro hindi naman lingid sa inyong kaalaman, no, that aside from, wait lang, ang sagutin ko lang to. Hindi, mali lang pala. Mali lang pala ng pagtawag. Yan, siguro hindi naman lingid sa inyong kaalaman no, that I'm not only, my profession is not only as an instructor. No, I'm also in the business industry, no? I'm managing business and I'm a business consultant and I'm working for a digital marketing company. Based from my experiences, ng mga different consulting clients na na-handle ko, na uh, this is based on actual ano no, on the actual entrepreneurs no na nai-encounter ko or nakakausap ko. They know how to create business plans. They are doing business plans, but their businesses fails because meron silang isang bagay na nakakalimutan gawin. And this is for them to identify or to drop itong tinatawag natin na business models. Okay? So basically, in doing business, after nating ma-evaluate if our business ideas are something that has the potential, it does not end there. No? So after the opportunity identification or after nating ma-evaluate if the business concept has the opportunity, there is an essential tool no, that entrepreneurs are generally using. At ito yung tinatawag natin na business models bago sila mag-draft ng business plan. Okay? And when we talk about, sorry, piyak ako, nagbibinata. When we talk about business models, we are referring to a term that you will hear very often in the world of startups and entrepreneurship. Kaya may mga entrepreneurship na nagfe-fail sila. Kasi plinano nga nila yung kanilang business, but hindi nila na plano ng maayos kasi meron silang something na nakakalimutan. And this is the business model, no? Kaya for today, we will discuss what a business model is and why it is crucial, why it is important for your business venture, and how it can guide you, how this business model can guide you in doing your business plan and planning for your business, planning for your operations, and plan for you to grow no your future business, no? So let's start with defining um hirap pala niya inex. Let's start no with defining kung ano ba itong business model na ito. Okay? Can you please read what is business model? Uh, Rainier?
What is a business model? A business model is a plan or framework that explains how a company creates value, delivers that value to customers, and captures value in return, usually in the form of profit.
Okay, thank you so much. No, and I think from the definition itself, business model is or clear kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng business model. So basically, business model is a framework no, that explains how the company will create value, how the company will deliver that value in order for your business to earn a profit. Okay? Um, so basically, no, kapag sinabi nating business models, this is something that defines how you will deliver your product or how you will deliver your service to your end customers. And it also covers all the other elements that are needed in delivering the product or delivering your service to your customers, which is your end goal is for you to earn a profit, for your business venture to be successful, no? And the most important thing that a business model does for your business idea is to remind you of how that idea is supposed to make money. No? Because it's not enough na may idea ka lang, no? It's not enough na meron ka lang sinisimulang business, na meron ka lang pinaplanong business. You should also know how that idea can help you make money, no? Kasi let's say, for example, you are just starting or you don't have any experience yet in setting up a business or baguhan ka pa lang. Now, you may not have all the details at the start, or you haven't figured out the details yet, no? But you should at least have an idea of how you will make money and how you will deliver or offer your products or services to your end customers, no? So itong business model na ito, it is important lalong-lalo na for startup businesses. No, because before a startup business can successfully na makapag-operate siya or before a startup business can successfully grow, no, it needs a strong foundation, no? And kapag sinabi nating strong foundation, it includes yung clear understanding natin of how the business will create and how the business will capture value, no? And this is where the business models come in. Okay? So itong business models na ito, it is an essential tool, no, that help entrepreneurs for them to design yung structured na approach for turning their business ideas into real operating business. Okay? So so para mas maintindihan natin kung ano itong business models na ito. Now, these are the things for us to remember regarding business model. Okay? So, can you please read these 2 points, bullet points that you can see on your screen? Casey? Casey?
Yes po, sir. Rinig po.
Yep, go ahead.
The business model also refers to how product delivery brings in revenue. A business model is not just what you sell, but how you deliver it to customers and how that delivery generates income. As industries change, companies can't always afford to stick to the same business model. Companies that refuse to adopt their business models risk becoming irrelevant or going out of business.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry, may tumatawag lang sa akin. Okay, mukhang hinahanap ako sa iTech. Anyways. Yeah, no? So, once again, para mas clear sa atin or para mas maintindihan natin, no, these are, or yung nilagay ko dito sa slide na to, no, these are the things, no, na makakatulong sa atin, no, for us to remember or for us to guide uh, na mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba tong din-describe natin na business model, no? So, dalawa siya. Tatlo rather yung nilagay ko ditong definition. Let's start with this first two, no? The business model also refers to how product delivery brings in revenue, no? Kadalasan kasing nangyayari, ang thinking ng karamihan ng mga negosyante, no, they are only focused on the product or service that they are offering to the market. But if you are a startup business owner and you are using a business model or you know how to use a business model, you might have an idea that a business model is not just about what you sell, but how you deliver it to customers and what that delivery generate or how that delivery generates income. Pag sinabi nating deliver to the customer, hindi ibig sabihin nito yung ano ha, yung via Grab, via Lalamove, via Food Panda. Pag sinabi nating delivery, yung value ng business, yung value ng product, yung value ng service. Okay? So once again, a business model is not just about kung ano yung binibenta nyo, but how you deliver the value of what you sell to your customers and how that delivery of that value generates income for your business. No? So syempre, we are into business because we wanted to earn. Di ba? Yun naman yung pinaka main goal natin kung bakit tayo nagbe-business. We wanted to earn. gusto nating kumita from offering a product or offering a service. No? So kunwari, let's say for example, may isang company, no, nasabihin na natin that na they have a great product and innovation that they develop. But if the way it delivers that product is inefficient or costly or inconvenient for customers, it might not make money. No, it might not bring in revenue, no? So ibig sabihin, kaya importante ang business model because it is one of the business tools that will help you as business owners to define how you will earn revenue, no? For example, yung Amazon, no, in their business model, they earn revenue from their direct online sales or their yung tinatawag nila na Prime membership. No, si Netflix naman, they earn revenue from the monthly subscription fee. No, si Foodpanda, for example, or si Grab, they earn revenue through the delivery charges, no, and the commissions from the restaurants and partnerships na nagpapa-deliver sa kanila, no? So that's the first definition, no, of the business model, or that's the first use, no, ng business model. Pangalawa, sa industry change, companies can't always afford to stick to the same business model. Okay? So, syempre simula pa lang, no, I think I already used the definition that in the business industry, nothing is permanent. Lahat ng bagay may changes, lalong-lalo na sa business industry. Hindi tayo pwede magstay dun sa kung ano yung nakasanayan natin. That's why, sabi nga natin in entrepreneurship, kailangan nating mag-isip ng bagong concept. Kailangan nating mag-offer ng bago. Kailangan nating mag-offer ng innovation. No? So, which is, yun na nga, no? Ganun din sa business. Industries are always changing. Because of the technological advancements na meron tayo, so kung napansin nyo, yung mga iPhones, mga phones natin, di ba? Nag-elevate or nagkakaroon ng upgrades, no? Sa mga features. And imagine from Nokia 5210, Nokia 3210, sa mga BlackBerry, mga QWERTY keyboards, nakita nyo naman kung nasaan na yung mga cellphones natin. Okay? So, and that is because industries is always changing. So, kailangan nating mag-adapt. Ganon din sa business model. No? Kailangan nating mag-adapt. Because yun na nga, because of not only the technological advancements, but because of the increasing changing customer preferences kasi tayo nagbabago yung preferences natin. No, may uso ngayon na sa susunod na araw hindi na uso, magkakaroon ng bagong uso. And because of the continuous business competitions, kasi we have to consider na padami ng padami yung gustong magnegosyo, kaya padami ng padami rin yung nagiging kompetensya natin. No? Even the government regulations and even the global events, no, like pandemic. No, yung global event na pandemic talagang it really affected businesses and companies na kailangan nilang mag-change or mag-change ng business models nila kasi kung hindi, yun nga, yun yung nangyari sa mga businesses na nagsarado kasi they can't adapt to the digital way of doing business kasi nga nagkaroon ng pandemic, no? So business models that we are using in a business can always be changed, no? Kasi business industries as time goes by also changes, no? So let's take yung telephone companies for example, no? Before kasi tayo or hindi nyo pala naabutan, no? Before people or yung PLDT company before, no? They only rely on earnings from telephone calls. Kasi nung hindi pa uso yung mga cellphone, nung telepono lang, kapag gusto mong makausap yung mga kakilala mo na malayo, may mga telephone booth, no, na may mga payphone, may magbabayad ka ng 5 pesos or pupunta ka sa mga PLDT shops, tapos pipila ka para lang makatawag ka. Yung mga payphone na tinatawag, no? Ah, na kung saan I remember uso pa nun yung ano na yung mga telephone cubicles. Parang ang tanda ko na pala masyado na naabutan ko pa yun. Then such a time na ang nauso naman is text messaging, no? Medyo nawala na yung mga telephone calls, nagkaroon na ng mga Nokia 5210, 3210. So nauso na yung mga text messaging, no? So kaya nauso na rin nun yung mga loads lang. In which, in our current industry, no, those telcos, hindi na sila syempre kumikita dun sa mga unang business model nila na yung mga payphone, mga telephone booths, telephone calls. Di na rin sila kumikita dun sa mga load, mga reload na pinaloloadan natin kasi majority of the customers are now relying on the internet, are now relying on the services, no? And for sure, baka nga kayo, yung mga may wifi sa bahay, kung sabihin natin hindi kayo masyadong lumalabas, hindi na kayo naglo-load eh, di ba? Umaasa na kayo sa wifi, no? So, if ever that the business, hindi sila mag-adapt na kanilang model dun sa nagbabagong changes in the industry, talagang mapag-iiwanan sila. Talagang mawawala sila sa industry, no? So, nga, no? So because of these different changes, yung mga companies or yung mga businesses who refuse to adapt their business models to the changes, anong nangyayari sa kanila? Basically, nagkakaroon sila ng risk for their business na maging irrelevant. Or nagre-risk sila na dahil ayaw nila magbago ng business models, dahil hindi na uso, they goes out of business. And yan yung nangyari sa Nokia. No, nung nagsimula ng magkaroon ng mga touchscreens, hindi sila nag-adapt kasi naniniwala sila ang yabang pa ng Nokia nung time na yon na dahil sila yung pinaka number one mobile company nung nagsimula yung cellphone, naniniwala sila na yung mga customers nila, they will stay in using the nakasanayan na cellphone. Pero hindi nila na-figure out na nung nagkaroon ng mga touchscreens, mas touchscreens yung syempre yung tinangkilik. And because of that, what happened with Nokia dahil hindi sila nag-adapt sa business model, hindi sila nag-adapt sa changes, na bankrupt sila, no? So dumating sa time na nag-try silang bumalik pero since it's already too late for them, nahirapan na silang bumalik, no? So yan yung mga nangyayari if a business won't risk to adapt to the changes, no? At they goes out of business, no? They file eventually for bankruptcy, no? So yun yung reminder dapat natin lagi as business owners or kayo as someone, no, who inspired to be business owners someday, that we have to keep in mind that a business model that worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. No, that's why companies must be alert to changes in their employment, no, or in their environment rather, and to be willing to change or to adapt, no, which means adjusting or completely changing their business model for them to survive and for them to grow, no? So yun na nga, no? Yung example natin na Nokia, no? Nokia dominated the mobile phone market and they were able to sell millions of mobile phones. However, yung pumasok na yung era ng mga smartphones and app ecosystems, since Nokia failed to adjust its business model, anong nangyari sa kanila? It leads to their bankruptcy. It leads to their downfall. Okay? Um, Pangatlo is business models can be counterintuitive. Can you please read the definition of this, um, Patricia? Patricia, can you please read? Sige, how about you, Jack? Jack? Jack, andiyan ka ba? Sige. How about you, Dwayne? Dwayne, you there?
Audible po.
Yep.
Business models can be counterintuitive. A counterintuitive business model challenges the traditional expectations about how business should be done. Counterintuitive models only work, wait lang, sir, when the company deeply understands customer behavior, market dynamics, and future potential for monetization.
All right. Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne, based from what you read, how do you understand the meaning of counterintuitive? Based lang sa binasa mong description. Kung paano mo siya na-gets. Kung anong ibig sabihin ng counterintuitive.
So, based din po sa nabasa, sir, we can see na yung counterintuitive business model na makikita natin din yung iba't ibang yung may iba't ibang mga ways kung saan nag-establish ng business kagaya nga po nung sinabi dito sa first line, which yung challenge yung traditional expectations. Kasi syempre naman, yung like na tackle natin in the last few weeks po, na yung businesses needs risk. So,
Mhm.
itong mga guess yung counterintuitive models, nagiging, kumbaga, tawag dito, adaptive or
Mhm.
nagbabago sila kasi nga they are based on customer behavior and hindi naman laging parehas yung kaisipan ng tao kagaya nga po ng social standing natin sa mundo, hindi laging constant, which is okay din siya and maganda rin po yung purpose ng counterintuitive business models.
Mhm. All right, yeah, thank you so much, Dwayne. What I like most about sa sinabi mo is yung in doing business, we are taking risks. At yun yung dinidescribe nitong counterintuitive. Okay? Pag sinabi natin counterintuitive, ibig sabihin, kaya, di ba may word na intuition? Yan yung pinanggalingan ng word na counterintuitive. At pag sinabi natin counter, ibig sabihin nun contrary. Okay? Contrary to the usual or the traditional way of doing something. No? In business, pag sinabi natin counterintuitive, ibig sabihin, the business model that you are trying to adapt is the contrary to intuition or to the common sense expectation of how we do things. No? And itong characteristic na ito for a business model, it is usually observed sa mga malalaking companies na. And this will be observed especially if there was a time no na kung saan the people will think or the people will think that you should not put your branches close to each other. Mga ganong ano ng mga ganong kasabihan na wag mong ilalagay yung business mo sa magkakalapit because that would mean that you would be competing with yourself in terms of customers. So may mga ganong kasabihan. O kung maggagawa ka ng business, ilagay mo, kunwari, iba't ibang branches or iisang meron kang business na gagawin, parang in the traditional way of thinking, wag mo siyang ilalagay sa isang location, wag mo siyang pagtabi-tabihin, ilagay mo sa iba't ibang location, no? And meron tayong magagamit ng isang company na hindi siya sumunod on that intuition. Talagang ano niya, talagang kinontrary niya. No, Jollibee is one of the companies that proved that wrong in the Philippines. No, which is if you can notice, 'di ba, minsan makikita natin yung mga Jollibee branches are quite near each other, no? Kung hindi man Jollibee itself, minsan kung mapapansin nyo, magkakatabi yung Jollibee, yung Chowking, yung Mang Inasal. Minsan nga, ano pa yan, nasa isang building pa yan eh. Ah, I don't know kung saang station to, pero yung station na sinasakyan ng mga buses, mga papuntang Batangas, ganun. Meron doon isang store na pag pumasok ka sa store, nahati sa dalawa. Na ang separation lang nila is yung color, Jollibee at Chowking. No? Which is, sa Puresa, makikita nyo, magkatabi yung Jollibee, magkatabi yung Chowking. No? And hindi ako magtataka na yung ginagawa sa kabila, yung 'di ba may nire-renovate doon. Hindi ako magtataka kung pagbalik natin ng January baka mamaya may mang-inasal na doon, no? So that's an example na tinatawag natin ng counterintuitive, no? Na parang yun nga, sometimes the best business models are the ones that sa unang tingin at first glance, they don't make sense or they don't seem to make sense. No, they seem risky, they seem illogical, no, or even like they are giving away value. And this is what we mean when we say a business model can be counterintuitive. No, for example, may mga ibang businesses na yung business model nila is yung service na binibigay nila it's for free. No, na kung saan at first people may think that how can that company survive kapag nag-offer ka ng service for free if you're just giving away your service for free, no? So ibig sabihin itong model na ito yung kabaliktaran. No, kasi sabi natin kanina, 'di ba, a business model should tell you how to generate income. Pero bakit dito sa counterintuitive? Ito yung business model na kung saan sinasabi dito na if you are using this business model, counterintuitive business model, the product or service can be offered for free, no? And kaya siya tinawag once again na counterintuitive, no? Na kung saan, kasi sabi nga natin, in doing business, di ba dapat you are selling directly, no? Na magbebenta ka ng product or service mo. Bakit may mga ibang businesses na ino-offer nila yung services nila for free, no? And ma- ah, ang example na pwede nating magamit dyan is yung ano, no, yung Facebook. 'Di ba? We can use Facebook for free. Kung gagawa tayo ng account natin sa Facebook as customer, wala tayong babayaran. Okay? Pero saan or papaano kumikita yung Facebook? Kasi basically tayo yung users eh. Tayo yung kino-consider na customer ng service ng Facebook. Pero bakit wala tayong binabayaran? Kasi meron silang ibang way for them to generate money at hindi sa atin yon. Or pwede rin galing sa atin din yung mga information natin na pino-provide kay Facebook or yung behavior natin sa paggamit ng Facebook, yung mga sinesearch natin. Kasi 'di ba kung mapapansin nyo, pag nag-search kayo sa Facebook na kunwari, shoes for sale, magugulat ka sa mga susunod na pagbukas mo ng Facebook, yung mga lalabas, yung mga ads about shoes. Yung mga Facebook page na nagbebenta ng shoes. And that's algorithm. Doon kumikita si Facebook, no? Now, sa atin as customer, mukha lang na hindi siya business, pero kay Facebook it's a business, pero hindi nga lang tayo yung nagbabayad. But still, they are earning, no? And yun yung isa sa example lang dinidescribe natin na counterintuitive. Hindi yun yung nakasanayan, kumbaga, no? Yung Google is a search engine business that is for free. Wala tayong binabayaran kay Google. Hindi mo kailangan magbayad para mag-search ng information. But how do Google make money? No? So through advertising. No, businesses pay to place ads alongside the search results. And yun yung Google's counterintuitive move, no? To make searching for free, but lead them to controlling the largest share of the global digital advertising market, no? So yon, no? Kumbaga parang um para sa atin mukha lang siyang mukha lang siyang walang kikitain pero meron silang other ways for them to earn a profit. And yun yung tinatawag natin na counterintuitive, no? And again, counterintuitive, what seemed illogical, but they are offering a huge service for free, but they can still turn billions of dollars in revenue, no? So these are some of the things, or these are some types of business models, or things to remember about business models, no? And since medyo malawak, actually sobrang lawak nitong business model na ito, no? Kumbaga parang what I'm just discussing with you is something na yung madali ninyong magets. Kasi hindi naman talaga kayo mga business ad students. Hindi naman kayo mga marketing students na dito yun ini-elaborate, no? Well, in fact, meron nga silang isang subject na yun lang yung discussions nila. But yeah, for the sake of our discussion, no, medyo ini-introduce ko lang sa inyo, no, para kahit pa paano, meron talaga kayong something na matutunan for me, no, na hindi lang paggawa ng business plan. Okay? So, although medyo malawak siya, no, pero meron akong introduce sa inyo na yung tinatawag natin na business model canvas. No? So once again, this is the framework na sinusunod ng mga startup businesses, ng mga business-minded persons or business owners before they proceed with actually drafting the business plan. No? So dapat dadaan ka muna sa business model canvas bago mag-business plan. No? Na kung saan yun nga karamihan ng mga business owners, wala silang idea kung anong business model na to. Nagpo-proceed agad sila sa business plan. And I'm sure, nung senior high ninyo, nung may entrep kayo, I'm sure hindi sa inyo na ituro to, nag-proceed agad with business planning. No? So, in business model canvas natin na tinatawag, for you to draft your business model, kailangan mo munang i-separate into the different components. No? So we have a total of 9 components of business models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So traditionally, no, these 9 components of business model, ito yun. Okay? And let's start with the first one, which is the value proposition. Okay? So ito yung dinidescribe natin kanina, no? That a business model is a tool or a framework on how the business will deliver value, no? So dito sa first one, can you please read what is value proposition? Um, Princess Kate.
Sir, am I audible po?
Yep.
Value proposition. The product or service, its features and benefits or uniqueness versus competition, size of the market opportunity, and the MVP or minimum viable product that best illustrates the product as quickly as possible to elicit elicit po.
Elicit.
Elicit customer feedback early.
Feedback early. Okay. Thank you so much. No, so dito sa value proposition, kapag sinabi nating value proposition, it refers to the value that a company or a business promises to deliver to customers. Okay? So itong value proposition na ito yung something like, ano ba yung value na maibibigay ng isang business dun sa customers who choose to buy their products or to customers who choose to avail their service. No? And itong value proposition na ito, it can be presented as a business or a marketing statement that a company uses to summarize why a customer or why a buyer uh or why a consumer no should buy a product or use a service, no? So itong value proposition na ito yung tinuturing natin na the heart of business. Okay? Once again, this value proposition is ito yung describe natin na the heart of business. It answers the most important question that every customer has. Why should I buy from you instead of buying first from someone else or from buying from the customers? Ayan, no? So, once again, itong value proposition na ito, it refers to the unique value a business offers to its customers. And a business value proposition can be one of the most important elements of your overall marketing messaging. No? Kasi once again, a value proposition will tell to your buyers, will tell to your consumers, will tell to your customers kung bakit they should do business with you rather than doing business with your competitors. No, and this questions that you can read here, from the slide. Why do your customers buy from you? Or what motivates people to choose you, to choose your products over the hundreds of alternatives? What makes your company and your products better than the rest? No? So the answer to these questions is your business value proposition. Okay? So once again, the value proposition is the value that you promise to deliver to your customers after they buy their products or services. No? And if you have a strong value proposition or a strong value proposition is what attracts your customers to your business. And it's what sets you apart from competitors. And your value proposition will give your customers a clear reason para piliin ka, para piliin yung product or service that you are offering to them. No? So let's have Netflix for example. Yung value proposition ng Netflix is watch anywhere, cancel anytime. Okay? With Netflix subscription, kumaga parang ano no, kung meron kang Netflix subscription, it will allow you to watch movies and series hindi lang sa TV, kundi even sa laptop or even sa mobile devices mo, no? Na kung saan, anywhere you go, you can watch and you can cancel your subscriptions anytime. Okay? So, yun yung value na ino-offer niya. No? Na kung i-compare mo yung Netflix dun sa other na competitor niya, which is ano ba yung other competitor ni Netflix? Nung nagsimula si Netflix, ang competitor niya is yung mga mobile platforms or yung mga ang tawag doon, yung mga cable business na magkakaroon ka lang ng opportunities to watch different movies from different channels. Magbabayad ka ng cable, ng subscription sa cable, pero sa TV mo lang siya mapapanood. Hindi mo siya mapapanood sa cellphone mo, hindi mo siya mapapanood sa laptop mo. And yun yung value na provide ni Netflix. No? And yung value proposition niya that you can watch anywhere, you can cancel anytime. It just happens na yan na rin yung ginamit nilang parang tagline nila. But basically, that is the value that they offer. And that na sila lang yung may kakayahang mag-offer ng subscription, ng you can watch any movies you want na hindi ka lang nakadepende dun sa TV kasi yun lang yung na-offer ng nasa cable, 'di ba? Sa TV ka lang makakapanood. You can't watch sa cellphone mo kaya kahit saan ka pumunta, hindi mo siya mapapanood. But with Netflix, you can do that, no? So we have another example, the Spotify. No, so their value proposition of music for everyone really drives the point, no, that no matter who you are, how old you are, or what kind of music you're into, kung anong music yung pinapakinggan mo, they've got the music that you can listen. And that's their value proposition. No, na yung other, ano nila, yung other na kasabayan nilang mga music platforms ay parang walang masyadong ganyang options. Okay? And I think I have another example here, the Zoom, no? The value proposition in an increasingly remote age, no? Zoom helps us to keep our life moving, no? Na, yun na, katulad niyan, nasa online class tayo, no? And mas naging useful yung value proposition ng Zoom nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, no? Which is, di ba, bago pa mag-pandemic, hindi pa natin kilala yung Zoom. Pero nung nag-pandemic, talagang doon natin na-prove yung value na ino-offer nila, no? Yung value na pino-provide ng Netflix, ng Netflix, ng Zoom, doon lang natin siya mas na-appreciate, no? And ngayon, mas na-appreciate natin kasi 'di ba nagkaroon tayo ng alternatives sa class modalities natin, no? And katulad ngayon, may klase tayo, kahit saan kayo pumunta, kahit wala kayo sa bahay niyo, you can still join. No, you can still attend our classes because through that value na hindi nagagawa ng iba. Kasi before, nung hindi pa uso yung Zoom, ang way pa lang nung mga conferences is yung mga Skype. And minsan yung Skype sa ano lang, sa PC lang magagamit, no? Or sa laptop lang nagagamit. But ngayon, mayroon na silang value na ang Zoom ang pinaka nag-start ng value proposition that, you can do meetings kahit mobile device lang yung gamit mo wherever you go, kumbaga, no? O katulad ngayon, may mga nasa biyahe pa uwi, may mga nasa biyahe papunta kung saan-saan. They are still on the Zoom, no? Kaya lang 18 lang kayong pumasok, no? Out of 38, asan kaya yung iba? Okay? No, and I have to make it clear, no, that the business slogan, kasi baka yun yung maging ano niya, yun yung maging thinking niyo that business slogan, sir, yung business slogan ba is siya rin ba yung value proposition? Hindi, no, it's no, because a slogan, it is a quick catchy phrase that identifies a brand. Now, while yung value proposition, it tells you anything about the brand. Okay? So value proposition basically communicates what the business, ano yung ginagawa ng business, what they do, and why the customer should care about the product or service that they're offering. But yun nga, sometimes, no, may mga companies na kung ano yung value proposition nila is yun na rin yung kanilang marketing slogan. No, but once again, value proposition is about identifying the problem and coming up with a solution that your business will resolve or ano yung possible na need that your business will attempt to meet, no? And in order for the business na itatayo mo na maging successful, it needs to prove, no, the needs that people should have, kasi kung hindi, how can you convince the people for them to buy your product or to buy your service? Okay? So yun yung dinidescribe natin na value proposition. Okay? So after value proposition, the next component is itong tinatawag natin na customer segments. Okay? So then this next component of the business model, itong customer segment na ito, I think you already encountered this term from your NTREP subject ng senior high. So basically, it is who your customer is and what problems the product solves. No? So basically, the customer segments are your target market or the customers that your business is aiming to sell your products or services to. no? And if you remember your discussions with your entrep subject, no, these customers can be segmented into different distinct groups, no, based on needs, based on behaviors, based on other traits, no, that they share. It can be through yung mga demographics, no, such as yung age, ethnicity, profession, gender, or psychographic factors, no, such as yung mga spending behaviors, yung mga interests, yung mga motivations. And there are a lot, no, kasi 'di ba nga, there are, naalala niyo ba yung uh, discussion nyo about this customer segment and segmentations? Sino dito nakakaalala? Kung meron pang nakakaalala, can you click the thumbs up button? Kung naalala nyo pa, hindi nyo na maalala. Di ba meron tayong tinatawag na market segmentation? Ayan, dapat naalala nyo yun, na-discuss doon ng entrep subject ninyo, no? At hindi na natin para ulitin pa kasi, di ba? Yun nga, no? So, yan yung dinidescribe natin na customer segment. And dahil marami tayong different categories na customer segments at meron nga tayong tinatawag na segmentation, kailangan ma-identify natin who are the type of segmentation na tina-target natin or we are aiming for the specific product or service that we are offering, no? So, yun nga, in any business, we have to remember that not all customers are the same, na kung saan the different groups of people have different needs, no? Meron tayong buying behaviors, meron tayong different ways how we perceive values, no? That's why the customer segment is one of the components of the business model canvas. And as a business, you can choose to target a single group, or you can also choose to target multiple groups through your business products or services, no? And now by matching your customer segment to your value proposition, there is a chance na yung business mo will produce a great deal of profit kasi it is fundamental para sa isang business to understand yung tinatawag natin na trade-off, now between the different customer segments that your business wants to target and the value proposition that you will create para mas ma-employ natin yung business model that will best fit the needs of your chosen or napili mong customer segment, no? Kasi as business owners, we should usually think a lot about ways how our customers will buy our products or services, no? And as the founder, kayo, as the founder of your business, you need to really understand kung sino yung target customers mo, what you can offer to them, and how you can solve their problems. Okay? So when creating or running a business, it's important for us or for you guys to clearly define who your customers are. No, and a business cannot survive if it tries to sell to everyone. No, kasi parang yun yung kadalasang nagiging reason ng mga businesses for them to fail. Yung mga businesses na ino-offer nila, they are trying to sell to everyone. Mahirap yun. No, that's why meron tayong tinatawag na target market para sila lang yung target mo. And you can customize how you sell, how you offer that value proposition to your customer segment. No, kasi if you will try to sell to everyone, mahirap siya, no? Uh, Not unless may experience ka na kaya mong i-offer talaga sa lahat, no? So that's why if you are startup, you must carefully select that specific groups or that specific customer segment or your target market na that you can best serve, that you can understand their needs deeply, and you can tailor your product or services and your marketing accordingly to them, no? Questions before I proceed? Everything's clear? Can you see thumbs up? Okay. So the third component in the business model canvas, after the value proposition and the customer segment, is itong tinatawag natin na distribution channels. How you'll distribute and how you'll sell products. Let's me call on Casey. Casey, can you open your mic?
Yes po, sir.
I'm sure you remember your lesson in your entrep subject about distribution channels. Ano sa pagkakaalala mo, pagkakaintindi mo itong dinidescribe natin na distribution channels? Casey?
I think po, sir, about the distribution channels po is yung like yung service po na para maabot yung product to dun sa final customer po, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that is correct. I-clear lang natin yung pagkaka-define ni Casey. But yeah, thank you so much, Casey. Um, Dito sa third component na to, no, ng business model canvas, which is channels. Kapag sinabi nating channels, this refers to how you will distribute and sell your product para makarating sila dun sa customers or sa users. Okay? So itong channels na ito, this is how a business communicates and reaches its customer segments. Okay? And pag sinabi nating channels, let me just browse kung meron akong definition, wala. Okay. Pag sinabi nating channels, channels are the ways no a company or a business communicates with and delivers its value proposition to its customer segments. No, and dinidescribe natin yung channel as a bridge or a tulay ang konyo ko, no? As a tulay, no, between your business and your customers. And without this distribution channels, or minsan channels lang yung definition natin, without this, even the best product or even the best service would be invisible. No? So that's why a business must use the right channels for them to reach the right people at the right time in the right way. No? So lahat ng businesses, regardless whether it is a small or a big business, you need to properly choose the right distribution channels. And choosing the right channels can impact your business marketing and marketing model. No, regardless kung online selling man yung ginagawa mo or e-commerce man yan or meron kang physical store, you need to identify what will be your distribution channel. No, so ano ba yung mga examples ng distribution channels? No, meron tayong tinatawag na direct selling, meron tinatawag tayo ng mga indirect channels, and meron tayong selling through intermediaries, at meron tayong mga dual distribution and a lot more, no? At hindi na natin para ulitin pa yung mga different types, different examples and the definition of each examples kasi na-discuss nyo na yan. Okay? Or I'm hoping na alala nyo pa. Okay? So, once again, no, kapag sinabi nating distribution channel, this is how or papaano nakakarating sa customer mo or sa end user mo yung product mo. No? And in today's generation, because of the technological advancement na meron tayo ngayon, these channels could be physical channels, such as the store, no, needed to sell clothes or a local market, or they could be a virtual channels, no? Which is ito yung mga mainstream ngayon such as the e-commerce websites, yun yung mga additional dun sa mga traditional na distribution channels no nung hindi pa uso yung mga digital selling, no? So meron tayo ngayong mga e-commerce, no? Meron tayong mga kasi maraming nauso na rin yung selling products online, 'di ba? Meron tayong Shopee, no? We have Lazada, we have Zalora, we have Amazon, no? And ngayon, we can also use a mix of both physical and virtual channels. No, which is karamihan ng mga modern businesses today are doing that, no? Hindi lang sila nasa-satisfy with just using the traditional, they're also using the digital channels na meron na ngayon, no? Yung Netflix naman, for example, dahil streaming platform lang siya or service lang siya, no? So Netflix is using communication channels through mga ads or through social media, no? So yun yung channels na ginagamit nila. Okay? After channels, meron tayong next component which is yung tinatawag natin na customer relations. And ito yung isang subject natin. Okay? At hindi na rin natin para elaborate kung ano tong customer relations na to, no? But basically, in this component of a business model will tell us how you will create demand for your customers. No? So itong customer relationship na ito, no, na dinidescribe sa component na ito, it will describe what type of relationship your business may establish with your specific customer segments. No? Sa kahit anong negosyo, customer relations or customer relationships is very important because the customer relationship is driven by customer acquisition or customer retention. No? So syempre tayo, no, as a customer, 'di ba, pag-aralan natin sa customer relations natin na tayo once na na-feel natin na let's say okay tong business na 'to, or mafe-feel mo talaga na bina-value nila tayo as the customers, no? They're not, hindi lang tayo nasa-satisfy with the product or service that they're offering to us, but kapag na-feel natin that as a customer we are special, na-feel natin na yung mga staffs are friendly, the service is excellent, ikaw as a customer, syempre, gusto mong bumalik. No, kasi once you feel that you are special, you feel that you are valued, and kapag ganun yung nafe-feel ng mga customers mo sa business mo, babalik at babalik sila o order at order sila, magiging repeat customers sila. And they will sometimes recommend your business to their other friends. And because of that, it can boost your sales. No? So in other words, you need to keep or you need to get or you need to grow your customer relationships. No? So kumbaga parang the idea of this customer relationships is as simple as answering the question that how you can use your current customers or yung satisfied customers na meron ka ngayon to your advantage, no, or how can you use this customers to help promote your business or to help promote your products or services, no, na kung saan in this type of channel, kung sa type of channel, kumbaga parang we are calling it as the word of mouth na marketing, 'di ba? So once again, no, this customer relationship is a component of a business model that answers how your business will establish a good relationship with your customers. No? So customer relationship describe the type of relationship na pwede mong ma-establish as a business with your customer segments. No, and this is one of the most vital component of the business model canvas because it directly influence yung tinatawag natin na customer loyalty. No, yung tinatawag natin na customer retention, yung customer satisfaction, which all contribute to a company's long-term success. No? So, customer relationships, no, are about how a business interact with its customers. Hindi lang before mo sila maging customer, but during and after a transaction, no? And it's more than just selling a product or service. It's about creating a connection, no, that makes customers want to come back, and that will make your customers even advocate for your product, no? So, I don't know kung may nilagay akong different. Ayan, no? Meron akong different nilagay dito na ano, no? Uh, different types of customer relationships, no? And a company may use one or a combination depending on the nature of the business and the needs of the customer segment, no? So ito yung mga common types. No, unang-una yung personal assistance, no? It involves human interaction, no? Customers can communicate with a real customer representative. For example, kunwari, 'di ba, pag pupunta ka sa mga ano, no, sa mga kunwari sa bangko na lang, sabihin natin sa BDO or BPI branches, and they offer face-to-face customer service, no, na kung saan depende dun sa needs mo. Merong mga specific na teller, may mga specific na staff that will help each customers with their needs, kumbaga, no? And another example ng mga personal assistance is kunwari, 'di ba, pag papasok kayo sa ano, sa Watsons, and Watsons meron silang ano, na meron silang category pa ng pag-a-assistance. Kung gusto mong i-assist ka, itong basket na 'to yung kukunin mo. Kung ayaw mong i-assist ka, itong basket na 'to yung kukunin mo, no? For them to really identify kung sino yung kailangan nilang bigyan ng personal assistance. Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na dedicated personal assistance. It is a deeper form of individual help or a deeper form ng first one, the personal assistance, na typically used in high value na business to business relationship. Na ito yung may experience nyo lang to kapag ah you're a customer ng mga high-end na brand. For example, yung mga Louis Vuitton. No, na syempre pag Louis Vuitton or yung mga mamahaling brand talaga, syempre, mga VIP yung mga customers nila and their customers expect a luxury, a grand or a personalized relationship, no? Um, Kasi kung, for example, pupunta kayo sa mga branded talagang ano, no, mga store. Kung kunwari bibili ka ng damit, bibili ka ng bag, ng branded na mga clothes and bags. As a customer, meron kang ano, tatanungin ko, what do you want, sir? You want wine? Or you want, may mga drinks silang ino-offer, mga ganun, no? And meron sila talagang mga specific na staff that will assist them, no? Then meron tayong tinatawag na self-service. Self-service, from the definition itself, walang direct na relationship, but the company provides all the means for customers to help themselves. No, for example, sa 7-Eleven, no, yung 'di ba may 7-Eleven merong mga self-service, no, that customers walk in, no, they choose what they want, then they pay at the cashier at aalis sila. There's no extensive assistance needed. No, yun yung tinatawag natin na self-service. Automated services, ito naman yung a personalized service through automation, no, such as recommendations or bots, no? Then meron tayong community relationship, no? Na kung saan companies either they create online or offline communities, no, for them to foster customer to customer interaction. Okay? Then meron tayong tinatawag na co-creation. Ito naman co-creation na to, customers are involved in the creation or development of the product or service. For example, yung sa TikTok or sa YouTube, no, na kung saan these platforms, no, allow users for them to create the product, no, yung na kung saan yung, 'di ba alam naman natin na yung product ng YouTube at yung product ng TikTok is yung mga contents or yung mga videos. No? At sino ba gumagawa ng mga videos? Yung users. No? So the platform, the YouTube or TikTok rely on the creators for the majority of their offerings. No? Na kung saan the more creators contribute, the more users stay engaged. No? And yan, wala na pala akong nag-slide. Okay, no? So, the key questions, no, when designing customer relationships is what type of relationship does each customer segment expect? Or which relationships do we need to establish? Or how do we integrate that relationship with the rest of our business model? No? So yun yung mga kino-consider natin, no, in this component of the business model. Okay? So after the customer relations or customer relationship, the next component in the business model is yung tinatawag natin na cost structure. Okay? So this component na to ng business model, syempre, 'di ba, ang isang negosyo, ang isang business, you need money because you need something to help you with your business, no? Syempre, hindi tayo magpa-function as business kung walang involved na money. And in this cost structure, meron tayong tinatawag na fixed cost, meron tayong tinatawag na variable cost. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating variable cost, this is a cost which changes in direct proportion to any production or selling activity of your business. Kapag sinabi nating uh, variable cost, no, ito yung cost for the direct materials na kailangan mo for the cost or yun nga, not only the materials but even the cost for the labor use, no, in manufacturing or in you producing that product, no. Pag sinabi nating variable cost, it is the cost that can vary depending on the changes ng production or ng selling activity ng business mo. Okay? Kapag sinabi naman nating fixed cost, ito yung mga expenses or yung mga expenses ng business mo na naka-fix talaga siya at hindi siya nagbabago, no? And examples of fixed costs are for example yung ano no, yung salary expense or the cost na babayaran mo which is fixed not unlike the variable cost, no? Sa fixed cost, kahit gumawa ka ng maraming products na ibebenta or konti, or kahit hindi ka gumawa, fixed na kailangan mo pa rin bayaran. For example, yung renta, or kailangan mong bayaran yung salaries ng tao, or kailangan mong bayaran yung ano, no? Yung renta sa, kunwari, meron kang store, no? Which is naka-fix yun. Regardless kung may nabenta ka or wala, may gagawin kang product or wala, yun yung fix na babayaran mo. Yung variable cost naman, magdedepende yung cost na yun, depende dun sa gagawin mo. For example, dun sa products. Di ba? Pag gagawa ka ng products, meron kang mga raw materials. Depende sa dami or sa konti ng gusto mong paggawa. Dun yung cost na yun yung tinatawag natin na variable cost. Okay? And itong cost structure na ito, no, of a business, to some extent, it is fixed by the nature of the business and the type of industry, so in which the business operates, no? So the fixed cost or the variable cost of a business is nakadepende sa type of industry and the nature of your business operations, no? Which is this fixed and variable cost is required for you to operate your business. Okay? And I think meron tayong separate na discussion about this financial structure ng business kasi alam ko meron tayong financial topic for business, no? So doon natin elaborate yung itong mga to, no? So, the reason why this is included kasi nga every business has costs, no? Even if your business is online or you're just running a lean startup business, you will still faces or you still need you still need to spend money, no? Kaya meron tayong cost structure. Okay? But basically in this cost structure, it just identifies it organizes the expenses that your business needs in terms of how much it costs to operate or what are your major expenses or where your major expenses lie, no? And understanding, no, this cost structure is important for our pricing strategy or for pricing your products correctly. Now, making strategic decisions and ensuring long-term financial sustainability. Okay? Next, after the cost structure is meron tayong tinatawag na key activities. Okay? The tasks the company must perform to succeed. No? So, syempre, hindi nawawala itong key activities na to na dinidescribe dito sa component natin. Kapag sinabi natin key activities, these are the tasks that your business must perform for your business to succeed. Okay? So, ano tong mga activities na ito when it comes to the business model? Kapag sinabi natin key activities, these are any activities na kung saan yung business mo should engage for the primary purpose of making a profit. Okay? So ano ba yung mga example nitong business activities na ito, no? We have the operations, we have the marketing, we have the production, the management of the business, and even the problem solving. No, but of course, itong mga activities na to na ginagawa natin in the business, it depends upon the type of business na meron, no? And as a business owner, isa dapat sa ultimate goal mo when you are defining the key activities of your business is to help you discover anong mga activities ba yung kailangan mong i-address in order to differentiate your product or service from your competitors. No, para you can effectively deliver your value proposition that we discussed earlier. Okay? So once again, kapag sinabi natin key activities, these are the activities or tasks that your business must perform for it to operate as a business and for you to earn a profit, no? So every business, meron tayong mga daily, meron tayong mga weekly, meron tayong mga strategic activities that are essential to its operations. And these activities, once again, will vary depending on the nature of your business and your business model. Okay? Questions? Everything's clear? Can you see thumbs up? If everything's clear? Can you see heart reacts if everything's clear? Okay. Sige, after the key activities, the next one is, ayan, ito pala. Yeah, key resources. Um, this next component of the business model, no, kapag sinabi natin key resources, we are not just only talking about the money or capital in a business, but also about the other resources that are also important in business. No? So these resources are needed for you to create value for your customers. And we can also consider these resources as assets to your business. No, and these resources are needed to sustain and support your business. No, kaya kailangan ma-identify din natin ano yung key resources natin. Okay? Every business, regardless of the size of or industry, it relies on certain resources. And these resources can be physical, no, can be intellectual, no, can be human, or can be the financial. And without them, it would be impossible to deliver value to customers. No? So ito yung apat na categories of the key resources that you can see here on the slide. No, the first one, yung physical resources. No, from the word itself, physical resources, basically, ito yung dinidescribe natin ng mga tangible items na that you can see and tangible items that you can touch. No, ito yung, for example, yung kailangan mo ba ng building, ng shop, ng store, kailangan mo ng vehicle, ng machine, distribution tools. No, yan yung dinidescribe natin na physical resources. Pangalawa, the intellectual resources or the human resources. So ito naman, intangibles to, like yung human resources pala ang pangalawa, sorry. Human resources, people are often the most important resource, no? Especially in businesses that depend on creativity, that depend on expertise, that depend on customer service, no? Ito yung mga marketing team, mga laborers, skilled laborers, no? Mga employees basically. That's our human resources. Pangatlo, the intellectual resources. Ito yung mga intangible naman, no? Intangible assets like yung brand, yung patent, yung copyright, yung partnership, yung proprietary knowledge. Okay? Then we have the financial resources. Ito yung pinaka-importante, the funds or lines of credit available for investment, no, in your business operation or business expansion, no? Ito yung mga cash, stocks, bonds, loans, venture capital funding, no? And yun nga, no? Itong key resources na to, and itong nakikita niyo yung apat na key resources, um, or every businesses require different key resources. No, kasi nga it depends upon the type of business or the size of your business, no? But um uh either you only need one, you only need two, or you only need four, or you need all of them depending on the needs of your business, regardless nga sa laki or regardless of sa type. Bubulol na ako. Ang lalamunan ko, ang sumakit na naman. Okay, next. After key resources, meron tayong tinatawag na key partners or key partnership. Okay? Kapag sinabi natin key partners, these are the relationships that you have with other businesses. No, it can also be your relationship with or partnership with government agencies or non-consumer entities, no, that help or that will help your business model work, no? Ito yung relationship that your business has with suppliers or your manufacturers or business partners, no? And itong key partnerships na ito, no, that you will undoubtedly create will be the forces that will help your business to succeed. And itong partnership na ito that you will create is critical for you na ma-implement mo yung mga key activities. And it also contributes to your value proposition and to your customer segment. And if you will enter a key partnership, no, bago ka pumasok sa isang partnership, there are two important factors that you need to keep in mind when doing so. Now, the first one is this one that you can see here, tinuturo ng cursor ko, the value. Okay? The first one is the value. Kasi it's important that ang isang partnership dapat it adds value to your business. No? So bago ka pumasok sa isang partnership or before you enter in a partnership, kailangan mong reviewin muna yung value proposition mo and make sure that yung partner mo will be able to contribute to your value proposition. No, kasi there needs to be benefits for both parties. Hindi yung isa lang yung nakikinabang. Dapat both of you and your partner or your partner or your business partner no will benefit from each other. No, kasi if it turns out na in partnership isa lang yung nagbe-benefit, which sometimes happens, no, you should not hesitate to terminate the partnership kasi nga dapat in partnership both of you adds value to each other, no? In business partnership, we should not treat it the way how we sometimes treat yung love life or romantic relationship natin, no? Na minsan, no, isang tao lang yung masaya, isang tao lang yung nasusunod. And minsan, ang reason natin, sige, mahal ko, magtitiis ako, no? Di ba? Meron tayong crazy things you do for love. Nagpapakatanga tayo. Baka may chance pa. No, in business partnership, hindi siya ganun, hindi siya applicable, no? In business partnership, we should not do that because once again, if it turns out that the business partnership that you have does not take off, do not hesitate to terminate it or else your business will suffer and the other will continue to benefit from you. No, hindi na partnership yung tawag doon. Ang tawag natin doon, parasitism na, 'di ba? Ah, and yeah, that's the first important factor that we should keep in mind when we are entering a partnership, the value. Pangalawa, the second important factor is the partnership agreement. Of course, importante ito, lalo na sa businesses, because it is critical that you have a clear partnership agreement in place. Whether you are working with a company or you are working as an individual or working with individual as a partner, no? Kasi you have to make sure na yung mga expectations of the partnership is clear in both sides or clear in both parties para maiwasan no, na magkaroon ng confusions or to avoid conflict later on. No? So once again, these are the two most important factors that we have to keep in mind no, when entering a business partnership. No? And meron din tayong dinidescribe no, na four types of partnership in business partnerships basically. Now, the first one is yung dinidescribe natin na buyer-supplier relationships. This is the most common form, and it could help you to have a reliable no, and systematic source of your supplies or raw materials na kakailanganin mo for your business. Okay? And I think there's no need for me to elaborate kung ano tong buyer-supplier relationship na to. Okay? Pangalawa is the competition. Now, the second type of partnership is a combination of the word cooperation and competition. And yun nga, we are calling it once again as co-opetition, no? In this type of partnership, the business is partnering with other business, producing the same thing or offering the same products or services, no? So kahit na they are considered as competitors, they have cooperation with each other and they are doing this kind of partnership because it can help them to gain more market or in order to help them to gain more market share and to create synergies with both of the market. Now, pag sinabi nating synergies, this is the interaction or cooperation of two or more organization, no? And in this type of partnership, ito yung masasabi natin na strategic partnership between competitors. No? Kasi 'di ba usually competitors may be directly competing, but they can still work together for them to generate more awareness, for them to generate more market share, no? For their shared industry because they wanted to attempt or they wanted to gain new users or they wanted to gain new customers. No, which is ang pinakamagandang example nitong dinidescribe natin na competition yung ginagawa ngayon ng ABS-CBN and GMA na alam naman natin they are the biggest rival networks na magkalaban talaga sila pero meron silang mga collaborations na ginagawa ngayon. And that collaboration, although they are competitors, ito katulad ng PBB collab, 'di ba? Na kung saan ang PBB sa ABS lang talaga siya. Pero ngayon, they want yung GMA nakipag-collaborate with ABS for the PBB because they also wanted na mas na 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 yung mga nanonood sa GMA, meron din silang mayroon ding ibang mapapanood kumbaga. Kumbaga parang even yung benefit din siya for PBB, for ABS-CBN kasi yung mga loyal na GMA, malalaman nila na may ganong product si ABS, parang gano'n, no? So that's a very good example of the competition. Competitors sila but they are cooperating with each other kasi meron silang benefit na makukuha for doing that um cooperation even though they are competitors. Okay? Then after that, meron tayong strategic alliance, no? Kung ang competition is a type of partnership for competitors, direct competitors, this strategic alliance partnership naman is a kind of partnership formed between two non-competitors. Hindi sila magkakompetensya but they are cooperating with each other. And yun yung tinatawag natin na strategic alliance. Okay? This only means that you and other business that you have no direct competition with, industry-wise, will partner together in ways na kung saan both businesses pa rin will benefit from each other. No, let's have Jollibee and Coke, for example. Coca-Cola and Jollibee. Magkaibang companies yan. Uh, yung Smart or Globe, who partners with the makers of Samsung or Apple and other branded smartphone devices to sell their services. No, kaya 'di ba minsan may mga phones na naka-lock in sa SIM or yung mga in-offer na plans ng Smart or Globe with our partner with specific brands and units, which is yun yung tinatawag natin na strategic alliance. No, they aim to grow their market, no? Yung sa Jollibee and sa Coca-Cola, kumbaga parang syempre si Jollibee kailangan niya meron siyang ka-partner na i-offer na soft drinks. No? So yung soft drinks na ino-offer ni Jollibee is Coca-Cola only. No, na hindi siya mag-o-offer ng other products like mga other brands kumbaga, no? So parang meron silang partnership. Meron silang strategic alliance. Okay? Then meron tayong tinatawag na joint venture. Now, this type of partnership, kapag sinabi naman natin joint venture, your business is partnering with a complementary business to produce a new project. Now, usually itong joint ventures na ito, this is a type of partnership that usually takes place between large companies or large businesses, no? Which is kumbaga parang may no business stands alone, kumbaga, no? Even large corporations, they need partners. No, so partnerships are especially important for startups and small businesses that don't have all the needed resources. Kaya makikipag-partnership ka, no? Which is instead of doing everything yourself, you partner with others who have the tools, who have the experience, or who for you na hindi ka lang magbe-benefit ka and at the same time magbe-benefit din yung partner mo. Kasi syempre walang papayag na makipag-partnership sa'yo kung wala rin silang magiging benefit kumbaga, no? So that is the key partners or key partnership component of the business model. Let's go with the next one, which is the revenue stream. So ito yung pinaka-importante. I think this is the last part. Yeah. The revenue streams. Okay? Kapag sinabi natin revenue streams, um, coming from the word revenue, meaning it is the amount of money that is brought into a business through the business various business activities, no? Like sales of products and services, no? And kapag sinabi naman natin stream, pag sinabi nating stream, it is a flow of money, no, na pumapasok sa business natin. And in every business, there are different ways kung papaano nagkakaroon ng revenue streams. No, but to make it easier for us to understand, kapag sinabi nating revenue streams, it is the revenue report of the money that we are getting out of doing the business activities like yung pagbebenta ng products or services and pag-offer ng subscription services, no? And a business can have one or can have multiple revenue streams depending on its structure, depending on the customer segments, and the products or services. No, and each revenue stream may have its own pricing mechanism and pricing strategies. No, which is in revenue streams, it can be generated in two broad ways. Una, yung tinatawag natin na transaction revenue. No, pag sinabi nating transaction revenue, It is the money earned from one customer or one-time customer payment. Then meron tayong tinatawag na recurring revenues or recurring revenues. Ito yung ongoing payments to support the continuous delivery of a value proposition. Ito yung dinidescribe natin, for example, sa Netflix. No, kung may subscription ka sa Netflix, 'di ba, monthly mo siya binabayaran. No, yung tawag dun sa type of or sa way ng revenue stream na yon ng Netflix is recurring revenue. Ibig sabihin, yung customer, binabayaran sila monthly. Kapag ikaw as a customer, hindi ka nagbayad, nag-stop ka kunwari, nag-stop ka na ng payment, then wala ka nang makukuhang service, no? But if you continuously uh, paid for that service on a monthly basis, yun yung tinatawag natin na recurring revenues. Kapag naman isang beses ka lang nagbayad as a customer, ang tawag natin doon, transaction revenues. Okay? And there are many other forms of revenue streams, no, na hindi lang recurring, hindi lang transaction. Meron din tayong mga, which is ito for malalaking businesses na to, no, yung tinatawag natin ng mga asset sale, no, or yung mga usage fee, or recurring is also subscription fee, no, or meron tayong mga licensing, or meron tayong mga brokerage fees or advertising, no? Which is, madami pa yon, no? Hindi na natin i-elaborate. Doon lang muna tayo sa napaka-basic for you guys, no? The transaction and the recurring revenues. Okay? So, once again, these are the different components, no, that we should consider first for uh business, for doing the business, no? Before we proceed with the business planning, no? Uh, before you start your business, no, as entrepreneurs, no, and sa pagtatayo ng negosyo, no, if you want that kind of business not to be really successful, giving you thousands or millions of earnings in the future, you really have to consider first, no, this different model canvas or these different components no, that I share with you, no, and a business model serves as your strategic roadmap. No, it will be your guiding document, no, that not only helps you to stay on track, but also allows you to you know to move quickly if needed in doing the operations of your business. No, and in the startup world is, or hindi lang startup, even doing business or in the business industry, it's unpredictable. And a strong business model keeps you flexible, no, giving you the insights for you to adapt to new opportunities or to new challenges that comes your way. No? So in essence, a business model isn't just a plan. No? Kung parang dinidescribe natin siya as the DNA or the blood of the blood of your startup business. It's what allows you, no, to turn your ideas into a viable, into a scalable, into a sustainable business, no? So as entrepreneurs looking to start your journey, no, you have to take time to understand first in developing each component of this business model canvas. No, because doing so will set you up not only for success but for resilience ng gagawin mong business in a competitive business industry. No? And yun nga, no? Kasi the success of any business will really depend on the effort that you are exerting. No? And itong business na pinag-uusapan natin, no, is the business that, baka mamaya, yung business pala na meron kayo, it can be a big business in the future. No, that's why may mga components tayo na kailangan talagang i-consider muna natin. No? Not unless the business that you wanted to establish is yung maliit lang, no? Kasi the smaller the business, the lesser components to consider. But if you dream that someday, no, you want to be successful entrepreneur, no, you have to dream big kung mangangarap, kasi kung mangangarap rin lang naman tayo, 'di ba? Lalakihan na natin. And these components na that I discussed with you, all of these are the possible contents of the business plan. No? So, syempre, if you have an idea that you wanted to offer for it to become your product, before you start that venture, no, you need to draft it in the business plan. Pero tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, itong tool na to, yung nakakalimutan ng mga businesses na gawin muna bago sila gumawa ng business plan. Kasi, yun nga, for sure, may experience na kayo sa paggawa ng business plan and it's baka, I don't know kung nadadalian kayo or nahihirapan kayo, but in the actual industry, before drafting the business plan, you need to identify first itong mga components na to in the business model canvas, because this will help you for you to easily draft or to easily plan your business plan. Okay? Questions? No questions? Everything's clear? Can you see heart reacts if everything's clear? Okay. Sure, wala kayong questions. If you don't have any questions, ako may questions ako. And you can find it here in this Google form. I'll give you 10 minutes to finish. It's yeah, 10 minutes lang. It consists of 15 questions that you need to answer. And timer starts now. Hmm. 7 minutes. Last 5 minutes. 4 minutes. Three minutes. Two minutes. One minute. All right. Time's up. Okay, so yeah, let's open our cam. Let's take our photo attendance, everybody. Let's open our cam. About the rest. Can you open your cam, please? Okay, sige. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Konti natin. Asan yung iba niyong kaklase? Isa pa nga. Mukha akong bad trip dun eh. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan. Asan yung iba niyong kaklase? Ba't konti na lang kayong pumapasok? Maaga ba kayo nagsipagbakasyon, yung mga klase niyo? 36 tayo, oh. 35, 17 lang kayo. Almost kalahati. Close ko na nga yung ano, yung quiz. Baka mag-quiz yung mga hindi pumasok. Ayan. So, yeah. I think this will be our last lecture for this year. Our last lecture for this year. So, magkita-kita tayo next year. Kung di ako nagkakamali, ang resume ng work natin, ang resume ng class is, wait lang, double check ko lang. Kasi ang resume ng work namin, December 2. Hindi ko lang sure kung anong resume ng class. Ang resume ng class natin is January 5. January 5. January 5. Sige, January 5. Uh, I think January 5 will be our last lecture sa ating OFAD 105 na subject. Then, yeah. Check ko rin kung kaya kung January 5, last lecture ng OFAD 105, then magle-lecture ako ng isa or dalawang lectures ng entrep. Tapos Saturday mag-entrep ulit tayo para yung second week, ah kasi hanggang 17 yung klase eh. So, para yung second week natin is schedule natin for our finals exam. Okay? Sige. Yun lang. Thank you everyone and enjoy the rest of your year. Merry Christmas in advance. Happy New Year in advance. And yeah, see you next year. Thank you everyone. Sana all may bakasyon. Ay nako, sana all estudyante. Bye!